Hello everyone, and in this video I'm going to be talking about some Digimon that have appeared incredibly frequently throughout the Digimon anime. And no, I'm not talking about the English dub's likelihood of using the title The Darkness Before Dawn or something similar, because they sure did use that at least 4 times throughout the anime. So I won't be talking about that. I'll be talking about some actual Digimon that have appeared frequently throughout the anime, and I guess throughout the franchise itself. Now, I'm not going to be mentioning Agumon, that's a cheapie. I'm going to be talking about 2 other Digimon that aren't Agumon, whereas Agumon has appeared in most of the seasons. These 2 Digimon have actually also appeared in most, if not all. So we're going to be talking about those. So while some Digimon have appeared animated once and never again, some others have appeared in the anime sort of sparingly throughout time, and some are just appearing in the anime now with Ghost Game. However, the 2 I'm about to talk about have essentially been in most of the anime, especially one that's been in every single anime series, and you might not even have noticed it. So, first of all, my first Digimon that I want to talk about is Lopmon. Now, Lopmon technically appeared in Adventure in terms of being in the 02 movie, Hurricane Touchdown, and this was mainly only in the Japanese version. In the original Japanese version, in the credits, we get this kind of weirdly drawn image of Willis and Lopmon and Terriermon hanging out. And that's basically the only Lopmon appearance, but since it appeared, I'm counting it as meaning it appeared in Adventure and 02, combining those 2 seasons. It's a little bit questionable there, but I'm gonna count that anyway. So we have them in the Japanese credits, but also in the English version, we of course have the notorious miscoloured Lopmon on the movie poster. And in addition to this, when the movie was released in theatres, there were cards given out, and this included a Lopmon card. So technically I'm going to count that as being in Adventure. Of course, then we have in Digimon Tamers, we have an upgrade of Lopmon being an actual chosen child's partner, which exists in the series, as Lopmon is Antilamon, the Deva, but also ends up being the partner of Susie, which is Lee's little sister. So yay, we get a main character-ish Lopmon in Digimon Tamers. Then in Frontier, we have Lopmon appearing as a purified Cherubimon, along with Patamon and Salamon being the reborn forms of Phanimon and Seraphimon, which is fairly cute, but not really a main character like it was in Tamers, but still, it appeared in Frontier. And then over in Cross Wars, because we don't actually have Lopmon in Data Squad and Savers, I'm fairly certain, unless I'm misremembering, that's the only season it doesn't appear in, along with Atmon. So we have Lopmon appearing in Cross Wars, in probably my favourite episodes of Cross Wars. It's kind of like a creepy, vampire-y, haunted, kind of spooky episode, 2-parter. It's pretty good, actually. It's my favourite episodes in the series. But yay, we get Lopmon. We actually get multiple Lopmon. We get the white Lopmon, and then we get the Lopmon that get eaten by the vampires. It's surprisingly heavy for Cross Wars, which tends to be a little bit on the lighter side. So yep, we have Lopmon in Cross Wars. And then, as I mentioned, we don't have Lopmon in Atmon, but the only Digimon that's not an Atmon that showed up in Atmon was Agumon, and then I think Vamdemon got a mention but didn't actually appear. And then of course we also had Wargreymon, but I'm connecting that to being part of Agumon. So I'm sort of counting that but sort of not, but still Lopmon's appearing in most seasons. Then of course more recently we have Lopmon appearing in Colon as like a kind of an exposition dumper who just kind of comes along to give exposition. She's one of the reborn legendary Digimon, like all the partner Digimon were in Adventure Colon, and she kind of pops up throughout the series, as I mentioned, to drop exposition on those main characters, and that's kind of her purpose, but it's kind of a bigger role than she has in the other seasons, but not as big as in Tamers, but she probably appears earlier than she does in Tamers, at least. So still fairly supporting and pretty secondary as a character. So yeah, someone clearly loves Lotmon in the writing staff. Now, Lotmon hasn't appeared in Ghost Game, but of course Antilamon did appear recently, so I'm not sure if that counts at all, but Lotmon herself hasn't. However, we do have Lotmon appearing in Digimon Survive, which, yep, not an anime, is a video game, but still, that's a recent enough release, so I just thought I'd throw that in there. So, not in Ghost Game yet, but we do have Antilamon, so does that count? Let me know in the comments. So while Lotmon feels like a fairly obvious one because she's kind of been there from the adventure movie and she's kind of like a bit of a mainish character, you kind of think of her, everyone knows Lotmon. There's also another one which you wouldn't think as being a main Digimon or a popular Digimon, but it actually has been in every single season of Digimon except for Atmon, and it's Gotsumon. So everyone knows that Gotsumon was in Digimon Adventure as like a henchman of Vandermon along with his buddy Pumpkinmon, and they hung out in Shibuya and had a really good time and they were best friends, and they end up being sent to the prison in the digital world by Vandermon. But yep, Gotsumon has a pretty big role, even if it was just for one episode, and then reprises said role in one of the Kazuna memorial shorts, which I do have on Blu-ray, and I will cover them on the channel one day. Just roast me about not having covered them yet in the comments below. But yeah, so it does appear in the memorial shorts and does appear in Adventure, and then of course in 02 in the World Tour arc. It's actually one of the partner Digimon of one of the International Chosen and ends up actually evolving into Monochromon. This appearance also is in Kazuna, where Gotsumon appears because it's one of the International Chosen Children Digimon. So yay, we have Gotsumon appearing in both seasons of Digimon Adventure and 02, but being a separate Gotsumon. Now in Digimon Tamers, so Digimon's third season, we actually have Gotsumon's smallest cameo, but it still counts. So in one episode we have an Ice Devimon who basically freezes a bunch of Digimon, and one of those Digimon is Gotsumon, and we see that on the screen for like about a second. Still counts, I'm counting it. It's in Digimon Tamers. It's probably the smallest role that Gotsumon has had though. And then over to the next series we have Digimon Frontier, where Gotsumon is a reoccurring character who ends up evolving and helping out the kids in battle, which I think is pretty cool. He kind of has a friendship with Koji, which is pretty nice. And again, we get another reoccurring Gotsumon. This is probably Gotsumon's biggest role, even though it may be not his most known role. It's probably his biggest in terms of reoccurring characters, while the previous Gotsumons from Adventure and 02, they kind of are just one episode showing up and giving us emotions. This one actually returns in multiple episodes. In a similar way, we also have the Gotsumon in Data Squad / Savers, who is kind of like a henchman of Mercurymon and kind of pops up here and now. He also evolves. They just point out that he changed colour. It's very funny. But Gotsumon does appear as a reoccurring character, but isn't as major as it was in Digimon Frontier, but still is a reoccurring character. It has multiple episodes that it appears in and evolves, like the one in Digimon Frontier. Then we have Cross Wars, where we're just back to background characters. He's just one of the Digimon in the Magma Kingdom, and then, I mentioned again, doesn't appear in Atmon, but only Agumon and Wargreymon actually visually appear in Atmon. And then over to the reboot, we get kind of more background-ish Gotsumon, who appears in various episodes, usually in Mimi-related episodes. The one in particular is the one where she's in the mines and the Gotsumon are kind of like her employees, but that's about it. They're not a huge major point of the series, but they do show up in the reboot of Adventure. And then more recently in Ghost Game, we have a Gotsumon showing up in the Betsumon episode as one of the Digimon that falls for Betsumon's like tricks. And yeah, so we have Gotsumon in every single series. Of course, we also have him in Digimon Survive, like we have Lotmon, But again, that's not an anime, but I'm mentioning it because it is recent. So those two Digimon sure are in a lot of the anime. Lotmon only missing out on one series, Gotsumon literally in every single series. And I think that's pretty cool. I'm really surprised, honestly. I realized this a few years ago, just when I was looking through screenshots. I think I was maybe rewatching Tamers, and I was like, hey, hang on, Gotsumon might be in every series. And it turned out it was. So those are just two. I'm sure there are more. If you think that there are more, or you know of a Digimon who has appeared in every single series or most seasons like Lotmon, let me know in the comments below. Like this video because Lotmon and Gotsumon both deserve love, especially Gotsumon. Gotsumon doesn't get nearly enough love, and he is such a cute little rock man. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!